Hey guys, it's Omer from MMOs.com, and I'm doing another quick weekly news recap of all major MMO news and announcements for the week ending January 18th, 2016. This is episode number 26 of the recap, and the first bit of news this week, and probably the most exciting, is that Blade & Soul is finally launching in the West. In fact, the game's early access program / Head Start program for Founders Pack users has already started, but for everybody else who didn't buy into the game, they can start playing tomorrow on January 19th, starting at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time actually, so if you want to camp for midnight release, you kinda can. And despite the fact that only Founders Pack users can participate in the Head Start program, the game launched with about 10 North American servers and 12 EU servers, and login queues already started piling up. I wonder how the servers will fare once everybody else can start playing tomorrow. I'm just glad Blade & Soul is finally here and launched, especially since it's been about 4 years since the Korean version launched. Well, the wait is over, it's here. And despite being about 4 years old already, the game still looks quite nice. I did a first look video for it, but I will do another video probably this coming week. Next up, a little bit of indie news from a game called Ninelives. It's a game that's been developed for a short while by, I believe, a very small game studio. It's built on Unity 3D and it entered into open alpha this week, as you can see from the gameplay video in the background. It is 3D and you can actually ride a balloon, as you can see. That's kind of cool. But it's a super indie game, and it's supposed to be reminiscent of old school games like Ultima Online because there are no levels into the game. So I guess there's some kind of skill system instead, though it's in really early open alpha because there are no multiplayer elements yet. So it's an MMO, an open world MMO without any multiplayer just yet. But then again, there's only 2 people working on the game right now, so it is super indie. Up next, a bit of odd news from Silkroad Online this week. Apparently Silkroad Online is like, you know what, our game is not pay to win enough, we gotta make this game more pay to win. So they introduced something called VIP rewards, which are, as they sound, extremely pay to win. So apparently the more money you spend every month, the higher VIP level you gain. And what you gain, the benefits for higher VIP levels, go from bronze all the way up to VIP. So a VIP level character, for example, gets 20% increased physical and magic attack, 10% increased hit rate, 10% increased damage absorption, and an array of other OP buffs in the game. And actually, once you reach gold level VIP, you can actually start using auto skill, which uses your skills for you, and at platinum level VIP, you can go auto hunting, which basically plays the game for you. So they're basically selling an in-game bot. So it's a little bit odd that they're doing this, but I guess they figured, you know what, we can make more money off the game, let's do it. That's Silkroad Online for you guys. Next up, we got a bit of mobile news from a game called Mu Origins, which is entering closed beta on Android on January 25th. Mu Origins is actually a third-party Mu game developed by a Chinese company that Webzen licensed to. So Mu Online is Webzen's most popular game, but now Mu Origins is their mobile version. And it actually looks very similar to other Chinese mobile games, which is definitely not a good thing in my eyes, but I mean, the game is really popular and you can't really argue with that. In fact, there's over 120 million registered accounts in China, with over $20 million on Google Play alone in Korea, so it's really been doing quite well. And it'll be launching in the West on January 25th, and it's a really cool trailer for the game. This is a really well done trailer, but I have my reservations about the game. Moving right along, we got some console gaming news for World of Tanks. The game is launching on PS4 on January 19th. It's coming a little bit late because World of Tanks was announced on console about 4 months ago, so for it to release on PS4 just now, it's definitely a bit delayed. It's gone through several rounds of open beta weekends and other issues, but now it's good to go. It will not be cross-platform compatible, so if you're on PS4, you will only be able to play against other people on PS4, which is one of the downsides of playing a lot of these games on console. It's usually not cross-platform compatible, but it's still a major game, and it's free to play, so it's nice to see it moving to PS4. Next up, a minor update for LOL Online. Their first expansion, Part 2, launched this week onto their servers. Their first expansion's Part 1 launched in December, so Part 2 launched in January now. It introduced 2 new dungeons to the game, the first being the Spirit Flame Workroom, and then the second being the Shadow of Hallucination. Both dungeons drop level 40 unique gear, as well as other goodies. The other didn't add too much to the game because, again, they're releasing the expansions in parts rather than all at once, so it's just more regular, smaller updates rather than one giant update at a time. The most important aspect of the update, of course, was the raising the level cap up to 40. It's always the biggest deal in most updates, the higher level cap. Next up, another game that launched an expansion is Forsaken World. It's launching its 16th expansion titled Awakening on January 20th. Nearly 5 years after its launch, this is its 16th expansion, so they've been on the ball with keeping Forsaken World updated, even though it was never really that popular in the West. The biggest change with this Awakening update is the higher level cap of 100, as well as several new bosses in the game, as well as entirely new maps. And again, despite the game's age, 16 expansions since release. That's quite impressive. I should also mention the trailer in the background is not for this expansion. It's actually an older trailer because they did not release a trailer specifically for this update. I should also mention too that this is for the PC version of the game, not the mobile version. Forsaken World Mobile is a separate standalone game. This is for the PC Forsaken World. Next up, also in older MMORPG news, Night Online is headed to Steam with a brand new server. Yes, the 13-year-old MMORPG Night Online is launching on Steam. It's following the path of a lot of other older MMORPGs which just launched on Steam, including Granada Espada most recently. I think a lot of these games are doing this path because they can open their doors to more players, and I figure why not. So I expect more games keep doing this. But again, if you're interested in Night Online, you can now start playing on Steam as of January 25th. And aside from just the Steam launch, this game will be launching a Steam exclusive server as well, so you can start over if you are still interested in this game. Just take a look at these sick graphics, guys. This video quality is such duke, but it is the video being highlighted on the greenlit page, so I guess they really liked it. Next up, in some more recent gaming news, we have an entirely new game this week. Winning Putt enters open beta. As you can tell by the game's name, Winning Putt is a golfing game developed by WebZen's OnNet and published by Bandai Namco. It launched into open beta earlier this week, and it's aiming for a realistic take on golf, which should be very similar to OnNet's previous game, Shot Online. Having already did a Sunday Funday video for the game, I can safely say it's a pretty solid golfing game, though I can't imagine too many players are into golf, but then again, Shot Online has survived such a long time, and this is definitely a more solid experience, so, you want to play a golfing game? Check out Winning Putt. I should also mention it's built on CryEngine, so it has really gorgeous graphics. Check that chick out. Whoosh! That putt. Somebody even call that putt a winning putt. Next up, we have a bit of news for League of Legends. More than a bit of news, actually. Almost a triple action news here. One, we got a brand new champion in the game, a new marksman coming out soon, called Jin. We also have a major shake-up to the game's champion select, as well as a queuing system. So now players can apparently start playing ranked with more than 2 players on their team at once. So it's definitely a bit of a change, and we'll see how that works out. And thirdly, perhaps the most interesting, League of Legends introduces a lockbox system called Hextech Crafting. So players can apparently start getting boxed as rewards for their games, and they can then purchase keys in the game's cash shop to open said boxes. But apparently keys will also be available for free, so we'll see how it actually works. It's only on the PBE right now, but it does seem like they're going the lockbox path, which could definitely cause problems if they start introducing really cool skins that are lockbox exclusive, because then we've seen a lot of games, people get addicted and spend a lot of money. But I'm curious how that's going to evolve and what decisions they'll take. But on the surface, it does seem kind of scummy. A lockbox path, really? Who likes lockboxes? It's going to be so terrible, but again, we'll see how it goes. And it's only for skins anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but still. We'll see what happens. Next up, a little bit of news from Black Desert Online. Since the last debacle with their Dark Energy potions, which were later removed, they actually revealed their entire cash shop this week, and they're largely selling XP boosters, cosmetics, skill resets, storage increases, pets, and some other goodies. Nothing that's too pay to win just yet, which is good, considering it's a buy-to-play game. But the news that's really the most exciting from Black Desert this week is that they'll be revealing next week when their closed beta 2 date will be. So yes, they've revealed their cash app, but more people are probably most excited about knowing when the game's next closed beta will be, and I guess we gotta wait till next week to find out. So that's that. Next up, we got an update from MapleStory, which introduces a brand new boss to the game, an 18-player raid boss, actually. So players start challenging him in fights. Players that defeat him get a large amount of cash, as well as goodies they can trade for other goodies, apparently. There are a few rules, though, from when fighting Ursus, the latest boss. Each player can only enter a raid a maximum of 3 times a day, and each player can only use 20 potions, and a group can only use 80 revives. So it kind of prevents players from abusing just tons of potions to beat the boss, which is actually a really good stipulation, because I feel a lot of these bosses were kind of beaten that way, which is kind of cheap. So those rules definitely make sense. And MapleStory is one of those games that released such a long time ago, but Nexon's done a pretty solid job of keeping it up to date. I mean, they've released so many updates for this game that it always feels fresh, despite its age. The next and last bit of news this week, guys, is that Bless finally has an open beta date in South Korea, which is January 27th. It's a game that's been marred with a lot of release hiccups, and they were delayed indefinitely in the past, but now they have an official release date of January 27th for open beta. I know a lot of people were excited about this game in the past, but the delays have really gotten people a lot of people have forgotten about the game, but it's definitely coming. And the video you're seeing in the background is the actual official open beta trailer for the game. The game's open beta will feature a new race and 6 jobs, and tests will include instance dungeons, world bosses, RVR, which is Realm vs. Realm, and more. Unfortunately, though, the game still has no Western release date and probably won't have a Western release date for quite some time. But seeing that the game is actually launching into open beta, there is still hope for a Western release date within the future sometime. But anyway, guys, that's it for MMO News this week. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the podcast. Later, guys.